He's back and here to stay. This is the 5-Minute LA Sports Show with Bagman.
Oh, yes. How have I missed you? Have I missed you? I can't even speak. That's how excited I am. Oh, boy, have I missed you people. Woo, do you hear that? Do you hear that? The Bagman papers in the background? Oh, boy. Welcome to a new era. Behold, I have returned. They cannot keep me down. I went through so much. You don't even know how much I went through to come back on the air with you people. Bagman, he's too loud. Bagman's too brash. Bagman fires me, people. Bagman speaks the truth to Los Angeles. We have a special relationship. You and I talking on the radio. You and me, excuse me. Penalty assessing robot already in my ear. Oh, so much to get to. What have I missed? I missed nothing. I've caught up with all of it. I've given takes to walls. I've given takes to mugs. I went onto the street corner one day in Los Angeles. I began giving takes to just the people I met. I was arrested. It's okay. It's part of the reason I was gone for so long. We're back now. All right, let's begin in the place we should always begin, with the purple team. I will call them the Lakers. Excuse me, I'm choked up. I'm that emotional about it. I will call them the Lakers today because they're playing like the Lakers. They are holding up the standard of Lakers basketball. This new in-season tournament, many people are saying, oh, it's too whatever. I don't like the courts. Be quiet. Here's what it is. It's another chance to win a trophy. And if you are a basketball team playing in Staples Center, notice I said Staples Center, not whatever crypto scam it is now. When you're playing in Staples Center, you must uphold the standard that when there are trophies to win, you try to win the trophies. So Western Conference trophies, MVP Finals trophy, NBA Finals trophies, you win them all. So I am all for this tournament because it's another chance for the Lakers to win a trophy. But I've noticed something. You win this group because all the teams that are in this group are shams. Grizzlies, shams. Trailblazers, shams. They're all shams. They're all shams. That's not the point. The point is, I have noticed the Lakers, they can be good, but they can be better. They have been good, but they have been better. I've been gone so long I forgot how to speak. Excuse me, everyone. They could be much better. They need a playmaker. This D'Angelo Russell, he's a good kid. But he's not a true playmaker. They need a true point guard. When they won the championship, and I will give them credit because it tied them with the Celtics, and while I'm upset that we did not experience it in Los Angeles properly, the Lakers did win a title while I was away. So congratulations to them. I'll give them their flowers. And who did they have leading the team when they won that title? Rajon Rondo. What have they been missing? A true point guard. LeBron James cannot run the point anymore. You need someone else to distribute the ball, which is why I would love Tyrese Halliburton. But I believe that it would be very hard to convince the Pacers that you are the Indiana Pacers. You're not going anywhere with him. Even if you win this tournament, you're not winning a title. Please. You're not winning a title. Get future assets. Bring them to the Lakers. Now, I would say that. I don't think that's going to happen. So what I would suggest, there's a team right now in the Eastern Conference that's falling apart. Pick the bones while you can. Circle around the carcass. Hover, if you will. The team I'm referring to, of course, is the Chicago Bulls. Zach LaVine. Get Zach LaVine. And while you're at it, bring back the Bald Mamba. Bald Mamba's still there. Alex Caruso. Still doing Alex Caruso things. He's suffering. Free the man. You didn't want to pay him before. Trade D'Angelo Russell there. Alex Caruso and Zach LaVine. Let's give them away. Get them for D'Angelo. That's a fair trade, is it not? I'll run through the trade simulator, but I'm pretty sure that's a fair trade. You give up D'Angelo, you get Alex Caruso, and you get Zach LaVine. Now you have inside help because Anthony Davis cannot be trusted to stay healthy. So now you have an inside presence who can also shoot the ball, and you have your playmaker. That's why I should be general manager of the Lakers. In the final moments we have, I don't have time to get into Brandon Staley. Maybe during the informal program, while I have my 2 minutes, I'll get into that Brandon Staley nonsense. But I would like to discuss Lincoln Riley because I've been sleeping on it, and I've come to a conclusion that maybe Lincoln Riley's a hidden genius. Maybe Lincoln Riley is preparing these Big Ten teams and saying, "Oh, look at us! We cannot play defense." But Lincoln Riley knows something, and I thought about this sleeping last night, and I said, "Bagman, maybe Lincoln Riley doesn't need to play defense because the majority of the Big Ten is so inept offensively that he'll just outscore them because they can't score, whether they have a good defense or not." So here's what I'm thinking: whoever they bring in to replace that Grinch as a defensive coordinator, he needs to do an okay job. They're incompetent, and they'll just score on everyone. How about that? We'll see you next week.
home to the Informal program, Informal Overflow, the 5-minute LA sports show with Bagman, and whatever else they can come up with. This is Informal Radio, Pasadena, California.
Did we say the city in Southern California?
Legally, we have to. Oh, yeah.
We interrupt this broadcast for a show already in progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another day on the Informal program. I'm your host, Daniel West, a show that scored as many points in the second half as the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
Live from a city in Southern California, this is the Informal program, Thanksgiving Spectacular. Here's your host, Daniel West.
I would like to start off in the obvious place amidst the sheer chaos that we have on the show. And I don't mean that lightly. I mean, we have coups setting up. We have the news snail taking power. It's chaos. It's a mess. But I need to start with whatever the 5-minute LA Sports Show with Bagman was. Now, I'm very glad that Bagman's back. I have been pushing for several years that we need to have the 5-minute LA Sports Report with Bagman back. So I'm glad it's back. 5-minute LA Sports Show? Is that, what did I say? The 5-minute LA Sports Report. I'm sorry, computer. She looks different, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. The computer. Now, I'm not implying you had work done. See, this. Okay, anyway. I'm not getting started with her right now. So, Bagman, I'm confused. That's why I want to start here. By the way, welcome to the show. I'm Daniel. Dave Rogers is the producer. You'll hear from him in moments, probably interrupting the show and not producing. John Beanie is here. He's the one playing the audio. The Vegas Golden Hat is here. A very angry Vegas Golden Hat who may be joining a lawsuit. We'll get to that later. The Vegas Golden Hat ticked off. What? The News Snail also here. The News Snail has taken power over the show. He is cutting deals. He kicked out the word assessing committee. He is now doing the list of the top 10 words of the week, which we'll get to next segment. He also bookered a deal with Spotify, so we are now on Spotify. I mean, he had a lot going on. I appreciate it. I've never seen him move that quickly. He also looks a little different. I don't know what happened to him. Anyway, maybe we can zoom in on him. If you're watching on YouTube, you can zoom in on the News Snail there. You can see him down there. Nice hat. Thank you. All right. But let's start with the 5-minute LA Sports Show. I'm confused, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I just want a simple yes or no here. Bagman doesn't need to come in. I just want to understand his logic at the end of the 5-minute LA Sports Show. Is he implying that Lincoln Riley intentionally left Alex Grinch in charge to give Big Ten teams next year the false illusion that USC can't play defense, so that when USC enters the Big Ten, they will actually play better defense than they did before, but it really won't matter because the offenses are so inept that whatever USC does offensively will be enough, because even if they play bad defense, the teams can't score. Is that what he said?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we all were on the same page on that. Because he has a lot of great takes, this Bagman. And I know that he gets on me for being, more nuanced.
I would say lukewarm.
All right, he can go back to his studio. Thank you. Lukewarm? No. Just, not shouting at everyone to get fired every 5 seconds. I don't think that's lukewarm. Anyway, I just want to make sure we got that straight. All right. Coming up today on the show, we have the words of the week. That's coming up next segment. Do we have time? Beanie Factoids is going to be mixed in with the words of the week.
Yes.
Beanie Factoids is returning. For some of you, you are very excited. For others of you who actually know what Beanie Factoids is, you are very concerned.
Oh, no, that's not good.
So that's coming up. What are the contenders for words of the week? A lot happened in the world of sports last week. We had reports of falsified reporting that didn't involve the News Snail, which is a bit of a surprise. I'm sorry, I didn't. That was a little harsh. That was
totally uncalled for. Totally.
That was pretty wrong.
I don't care who you are. That was just wrong.
I do want to start off though with the in-season tournament while we have a moment, because I think the NBA is onto something. The courts aside, this tournament has greatly enhanced the beginning of the season. I don't think it can be debated.
Yes.
I don't think that you can look at the Jazz playing the Suns. You can look at the Philadelphia 76ers kind of playing like the Philadelphia 76ers in the playoffs and losing to the Cavaliers, who didn't have Donovan Mitchell, which was a pretty shocking result. I don't think you can look at those games and not see that they are playing harder, that the fans are more into it. This is what they wanted to accomplish. See, I think that in America, we have such a myopic view of sports. We need to broaden our scope. Baseball has some of this right. When you watch a baseball game and you see them clinch a division, there's champagne, they're celebrating, they have flags, everyone's excited on the field.
We know
Exactly.
we're a winning city.
That's right.
We're going to see you in the playoffs.
That's exactly what it sounds like. You have Major League Soccer, where you have the Supporter Shield, which goes to the team with the best regular season record. You have them celebrating in the locker room. You have the I almost said the FA Cup. That's in England. You have the U.S. Open Cup in Major League Soccer. And all of these are championships and trophies that can be won that make you feel something. Even if your team is not a championship contender, you can still experience the joys of winning a title. And some may say that's a participation trophy. I don't think it is. I think it's the idea that you can celebrate other things. Look at college football. One of the beauties of college football that we're kind of losing, that people maybe didn't even realize was such an important part of college football, was the idea that winning a bowl game is big. Winning your rivalry game is big. That's not a participation trophy. If Iowa beats Iowa State and they win whatever, corn-based tornado trophy, it's not all participation trophy. No, you beat your rivals. So I am all for the NBA giving a trophy in the season. It does not cheapen the Larry O'Brien trophy. All it does is make games like we've been seeing on Tuesdays and Fridays really matter. And I applaud them for it. We could work on the court designs, but at least the courts tell you that this is something important. We think it's so important that we've changed the courts. So I think more sports need to look at this. Baseball, for instance. Can you imagine if baseball had a tournament in the middle of the season? As an Angels fan, I might actually have some interest in the second half. We're back with the words of the week as chosen by the news snail after the break. Keep it right here. This is the Informal Program.
Hey, what's up? It's your favorite smooth talking DJ, Mr. Smooth. Keep it right here. There's more Informal Program after these messages.
All right, normally in this part of the show is where we read your letters, informalprogram.com. Just click on the mailbox and you can send us a letter, word of the week suggestions. You can do that there. Say hey to the crew, shout out Dave, suggest a guest. We're brewing some stuff behind the scenes here. We have a bunch of correspondence. In fact, later on today, at the conclusion, if you're watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, at the end of the show, stick around because we have the Informal Overflow. And I'm going to talk to Anderson, our Padres correspondent, San Diego sports correspondent, about the sudden loss of Peter Seidler, who was the beloved owner of the San Diego Padres. So check that out. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, check out the Informal Overflow. It's over there. That's mainly what I wanted to talk about right here. Thanks to our friend, the News Snail, who is brokering deals, who has turned into a bigwig. That's right. I appreciate your work, News Snail. We are now on Spotify. So if you go to Spotify, search for the Informal Program, you can find us. Follow us there. Hit the follow button. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Just follow the show. Whether you listen to every episode or not, just hit the follow button. We'd appreciate it. We can see who's listening. Tell your friends. Share along. 35 minutes of fun. The 5-Minute LA Sports Show. Bagman is returning on all the platforms, so you can get that as well. Informalprogram.com. If you're confused, you say, there are too many podcasts out here. How do I find it? Informalprogram.com. Everything's there. Just go to the website, informalprogram.com. You can find the latest episodes. You can follow the show there. On and on and on. Tell people. We'd really appreciate it. Does it sound like I'm struggling? I'm struggling because Dave's script ran out just about now, and now I'm just winging it.
You're very professional, Daniel.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Dave. And maybe you can be more professional and give me a longer script next time. I'm just saying. Anyway, informalprogram.com. Please follow the show. Subscribe. We're also on YouTube. Informal Program.
You're listening to Informal Radio, home of the Informal program, the Informal Overflow, the 5-minute LA sports show, and whatever else they can come up with. This is Informal Radio.
Back here on the Informal program, I'm Daniel West, your host. It is time for the words of the week. We do not have, do we have imaging for the words of the week?
And now it's time for the words of the week.
All right, that was a little underwhelming. Don't we have like a big blowout thing to celebrate the end of the words of the week? Maybe we should make something for the start of the words of the week that's not just, it's not just announcer man into a dry microphone saying these are the words of the week. Anyway, these words now chosen by the news snail, who scours, and I mean scours, the sports landscape to bring you the words of the week. Very exciting here. All right, the first one.
Number 10.
This one, John Beanie. He's made it a part of Beanie Factoid. So, John Beanie, please take it away. Word number 10.
Yeah, so the word number 10 is the word Haley. I'm sorry, you're supposed to do that.
Okay, we're off to a good start.
No, you do it like you normally do it, and then I come in and explain why.
Okay, very nice. So you want to do it again?
Number 10.
All right, thank you. Number 10 here is Haley. John Beanie, contributor to the show, engineer John Beanie. Why is Haley number 10?
So here's the story. NASCAR driver Justin Haley, superstar for Rick Ware Racing.
Okay, no one's gonna get that joke. No one's gonna get.
Why don't you explain it?
The joke is Rick Ware Racing is like the Charlotte Hornets of NASCAR. So
they're not great, but maybe Justin Haley maybe he's the LaMelo Ball. Maybe they'll miss the playoffs still. Anyway,
we need to keep this moving, John.
Okay, all right. So anyway, Justin Haley got married recently. Congratulations to Justin Haley. Hang on.
Congratulations. We are winners.
Okay, we don't need all of this. Congratulations for him.
Whatever city Justin Haley's from. I think it's in Iowa or something.
We know we're a winning city.
Okay, congratulations to the man on getting married. What happened next?
Anyway, his bride is the lovely Haley.
Wait a minute.
That's right. Justin Haley's wife is now Haley.
Okay. What am I supposed to do with that?
That's why Haley's number 10, Daniel.
Okay, thank you. Now I catch it. Okay, because it's Haley. So now her name is Haley.
That's right. Can you imagine going to the DMV? Like, what's your name? Haley. Last name? Haley.
Anyway, that's what it is. So now, if you didn't know, now you know.
And if you don't know, now you know. Go right.
Okay, very nice.
Number 9.
Number 9, word of the week. Tweak. Tweak is the word of the week, and this is because, as the news snail hands me a piece of paper here, Major League Baseball is considering changing the pitch timer.
What?
Instead of 20 seconds, it would now be 18 with runners on base.
Wow, those 2 seconds are really going to make a difference.
Though I agree. Actually, I don't hate this.
What?
I felt like baseball is getting longer towards the end of the playoffs. We were really starting to go back to what we had before, where it just kind of like, it was still a short game, but they were really milking the pitch timer. I don't hate it. I think, if I remember correctly, penalty assessing robot, you can back me up on this. I'm pretty sure that it was 18 in the minors. That's what it was. It was 15, 12 or 15 with no one on base, and then it was 18 with runners on base, and they changed it in Major League Baseball. So I don't think this is crazy. People are flipping out and saying, oh, they're changing it again. I don't see that. I think that they're just putting it in line with how it actually follows in minor league baseball. They just expanded it in baseball because everyone thought that, the pitchers we're going to have a World Series decided by some kind of, called strike 3 because a guy didn't get in the box in time or whatever. And it actually worked out well. So I don't hate this idea. That's not bad.
Number 8.
All right, word number 8 is ironic. That's because James Madison University was trying to petition the NCAA. This is a funny story. It's funny. It's ironic. It's a little bit of
Karmic justice?
I don't know if it's karmic justice, but the story is James Madison University,
Named after James Madison.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. I would not have caught on to that. Yes, named after James Madison.
And if you don't know, now you
Thank
know.
you. Wow.
Glory.
You have any other pearls of wisdom?
That's all I got, man.
Thank you. Thank you for interrupting the show with that contribution. I really appreciate it. I had no idea who it was named after, so thank you for enlightening me.
You have to be sarcastic.
What am I? Who did I think it was named after? James Madison.
The founding father.
Thank you, Dave. Thank Mr. Wikipedia over there. I mean, man, this is incredible.
And if you don't know, now you know. Glory.
James Madison University was petitioning the NCAA to get into a bowl game because there's a 2-year grace period where they were not supposed to participate in postseason games because they're transitioning from lower Division 1 into main Division 1. Anyway, they have a great team. They were 10-0 going into the weekend, or they're undefeated. I'm sorry, I don't have the record in front of me, but they were undefeated. I think they're 10-0. We can look that up during the break.
Yes.
Yeah, 10-0. And College Game Day came there. They were petitioning the NCAA. There were lawsuits. The actual attorney general was trying to sue the NCAA so they could join a bowl game if they went undefeated. Anyway, they lost to Appalachian State, and all of that is done. So
What a shame.
it just is very ironic because it's not like the NCAA said, hey, listen, we know you're good, but you can't go to a bowl game because, somebody took, tattoo money or something or milk money. No, they knew going in that they weren't going to be bowl eligible. And then they win, and it's like, oh, hey, wait a minute. Can we change all the rules? And now the NCAA doesn't have to worry about that because there will not be an undefeated James Madison University in the tournament. And in case you did not know, James Madison University, named after James Madison.
What?
I don't even know what to say with you, Dave. We'll be back.
Indeed, it is I, the Grim Speaker, and you're listening to Informal Radio. Yes, indeed.
And now, live from the newsroom in Los Angeles, with unbiased journalism, here's your host, Bagman, with the 2-minute LA Sports Report. Here's Bagman.
Bagman is here with you. You can catch the full 5-minute LA Sports Show on these same platforms. But thank you for your time and service. I'm here. I did not have enough time during my own show to discuss Brandon Staley, so now let me kick my feet up, crack my knuckles into the microphone. You may have heard actual knuckles crack there. Brandon Staley got real feisty with reporters. I'm running the plays. I call the defense. Are you sure you want your name associated with that? You have, let me look at the Bagman papers here. Khalil Mack. You have a Bosa. And your defense is in the low 20s in several defensive categories. You want your name attached to that defense? You want your name attached to 27-0 blown lead in the playoffs? You want your name attached to ruining a man to a degree that even Shohei Ohtani is looking across Los Angeles and saying, wow, they're wasting his talent to Justin Herbert. You want your name associated with that? Alex Grinch could do a better job calling defense than you, Brandon Staley. There, I said it. Free Herbert.
News when you need it. Opinions whether you want them or not. It's Bagman on Informal Radio.
Greetings, it is I, the Grim Speaker. Keep it right here on Informal Radio. Indeed.
Hi, this is Engineer John Beanie, and you're listening to Informal Radio. You get that right?
All right, halftime is over. Welcome back to the Informal program. He stormed out of here. Bagman left. He actually drove off. Shocking. Welcome back to the show. Follow us, informalprogram.com. That is your hub for all informalities. From there, you can subscribe, listen on Spotify, listen on Apple Podcasts. We have all the links there. We're on Google Podcasts. wherever you get podcasts, unless you get them, on Neptune or something, which I don't know if that's a streaming service of the planet, but if you get your podcast on Neptune, you're probably not going to find us. But anywhere else you can find us there, informalprogram.com. Stick around. If you're listening on YouTube to Informal Radio, stick around. At the end of the show, as soon as we're done, we're going to get to the Informal Overflow. Anderson will be on to discuss Peter Seidler. He's a Chargers fan. Or excuse me, maybe he was a Chargers fan before he took him.
What a shame.
Yeah. Misspeak there, Freudian slip. He is a Padres fan. He wants to talk about the passing of Peter Seidler. So given the jovial atmosphere of the show, I felt like, discussing the death of a beloved owner would not fit in to this. And also we wanted to give him more time than we would because, Dave's over there holding up cue cards with how much time I have left.
Which you're wasting.
I'm doing a promo. Hey. I'm doing a promo for you. For all the things that we're doing on the Informal networks. Anyway, and if you're listening on podcasting, just search for Informal Overflow, and you can find that there. So, we're counting down the top 10 words of the week as chosen by the News Snail. Haley is number 10. Tweak is number 9. Ironic is number 8. Now let's get to number 7.
Number 7.
The number 7 word of the week is the word shootout. John Beatty, tell us more.
Yes. So, earlier this week, the Indiana Pacers played, let me see here, the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks.
Ah!
Yeah. Did you get bitten? What happened there?
Dave is having a whale of a show. Remember the days briefly earlier this year when Dave was just like being quiet in the corner?
Yes.
Those days were horrible.
Anyway, so the Hawks are playing the Pacers. The score was 119-114 at the end of the third.
What?
I beg your pardon?
Yes, it was 119-114 at the end of 3.
What?
In the end, the final score was 157-152. They combined for 309 points, one of the highest scoring games in NBA history.
That's absurd. That's crazy. Also kind of genius because, and I don't think it's not as genius as I thought it was, but because the first tiebreaker in the in-season tournament is point differential, I guess, if you only win by 5, I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, anyway, the Pacers, I was watching a video on the Pacers and how they're essentially just saying, hey, listen, if you want a layup, we'll give you a layup. We'll guard the three-point line, and as soon it's essentially the basketball equivalent of a counterattack in soccer. As soon as there's a turnover or missed shot, boom, there's a dude running, and they're just going to try to get in transition, fast break. And this Tyrese Halliburton is spectacular. You want me to keep things moving? Okay, very nice.
Number 6.
All right, this is the final Beatty factoid of the week. Number 6, John Beatty.
Number 6 is the word expensive because, this is funny, Auburn paid $1.8 million to New Mexico State.
The Lobos.
No, that's New Mexico.
All right. Penalty assessing robot, can we please do something? Because he is really just taking over the show. What can we do here? What? Okay. Your hands are tied. You don't have hands. Okay. Well, yeah, of course they're tied. Okay. Anyway, they're not the Lobos. Those are the...
Oh, sorry. Carry on. Listen, I'm trying back here.
So what happened?
Anyway, Auburn, the football team led by Hugh Freeze. I know you want to tell a Frozen joke, but we're not doing it.
You mean I should let it go? I'm sorry.
Can he go?
Sorry. Carry on. Let it go.
That was good. I gotta slap you on that one. That was good. Okay, so
Don't encourage him. No. Okay. I've lost the show. We're back. I've lost the show. Do you want me to do the stat? Because I will tell the stat. We need to keep the show moving.
Okay, no, anyway. So what happened is Auburn, they paid $1.8 million to New Mexico State, the Aggies, not the Lobos, the Aggies, to come in during the non-conference schedule and play in Jordan-Hare Stadium. And Auburn lost 31-10.
Oh no, that's not good.
So what you're telling me is Auburn paid New Mexico State to come in and beat them. Is that basically what happened there?
Yes.
All right, can we fit in one? Because we're coming up on a break.
Number 5.
All right. Coming at number 5, word of the week is the word Vegas for 2 reasons. First of all, there was the Vegas Grand Prix that featured Max Verstappen winning. What a big surprise. But also featured a lot of the participants getting kicked out because there was a delay in one of the practice sessions. There's now a major lawsuit. And speaking of potential major lawsuits and getting kicked out, the Major League Baseball owners agreed, or governors, excuse me, agreed that the A's can leave Oakland and head to Las Vegas. So Vegas is the number 5 word of the week. And the Vegas Golden Hat is in on that lawsuit, from what I understand. More from him after the break.
Keep it right here. This is Informal Radio.
All right, folks, you're looking at your calendar. You've heard Mariah Carey already. Santa Claus has already come out at the Thanksgiving Day parade. But I want to let you know that there are still several days left to enjoy November. That's why this month of shows brought to you by our friends over at the November Awareness Committee. Here to remind you that November is a month that exists between October and December. To find out more information and to participate, look at your calendar and count the 30 days between October and December. November awareness, it's very important. We need to make sure that we remember November is a month. It's a month that has Thanksgiving. That's kind of it, but still, enjoy it with your family, your friends, your loved ones, and then we can get to December. But do not forget about November. Remember the month of November. Find out more information on a calendar, the month of November.
You're listening to Informal Radio, home of the Informal program, the Informal Overflow, the 5-minute LA Sports Show, and whatever else they can come up with. This is Informal Radio.
Yeah, we're back. We're coming back on track with the words of the week. Don't need to speak, it ain't gonna be weak. I just rapped that together, but I didn't think it was me. I'm gonna end real strong. I'm gonna end this song. Come on, everybody. Why don't you sing along?
Oh no, that's not good.
Oof. Welcome back. Daniel here. The voice you heard attempting to rap was John Beanie, and this is the Informal program. Finishing up here, we'll get to the top 4 words of the week in a moment, but I do want to bring in the Vegas Golden Hat briefly, who was so distraught by what happened over his trip to Vegas that he forgot to say Vegas anytime. It's a running joke. Anytime I say Vegas, the Vegas Golden Hat. This is why we don't say Vegas very often. We're not talking Golden Knights. I want to ask you about the... Oh, you don't want to talk about it? Legal proceeding. So you're on this lawsuit? You can either confirm or deny. Okay, how was the experience? Your lawyers say you can't speak. Okay, well then, I won't ask anymore anyway. So the Vegas Golden Hat, we sent him to Vegas to take part in the festivities around the Vegas Grand Prix, and apparently it didn't go well. He was kicked out with all the other people who were kicked out when free practice was delayed because a pothole opened up. I summarized it well. Okay, and your thoughts on the A's heading to Las Vegas. The other team you got from Oakland, they don't win. You'll expect the same. Wow. The Vegas Golden Hat, not a fan of the A's showing up. Wow, I was not expecting that. All right, so quickly, let's go to number 4 on the list. Number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 word of the week, historic. If you were watching Thursday Night Football, Thanksgiving football, you may have seen Deron Bland set an NFL record with his 5th. LeBron James, quick, we need to bring LeBron James in. I know we're running out of time, but LeBron James, can we have you come in? LeBron James, friend of the program, sort of. Well, at least, this 5-second clip of his voice is.
You mean it's not LeBron?
No, it never has been.
Oh, man.
Anyway, LeBron James, how many picks return for a touchdown does Ron Bland have this season?
Not 2, not 3, not 4.
That's right. 5 interceptions returned for a touchdown this season. That is an NFL record. And I believe that also makes him the greatest Cowboy interception return for touchdown guy of all time.
What?
Yes.
I think there's a better way to say it that wasn't so awkward.
Yeah, the leading, pick six guy.
How about you host the show?
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3 is the word overdue. Because we heard this week, according to the news snail who reported it first and then all the other people disseminated the information, after much trial and tribulation, Matt Canada of the Pittsburgh Steelers and their inept offense that was outgained yardage-wise in every game this season, he lost his job.
Near the holidays?
Another one bites the dust.
Man, Mike Tomlin's wrong for that, man. You could have waited till like Christmas.
Or you could have done, they could have done it earlier as well. 9 games being outgained? Okay, anyway.
Did you have to fire him near Thanksgiving, though?
Well, he could have done his job better and they wouldn't have had to fire him.
Number 2.
Coming in at number 2, this is one that Bagman discussed briefly. I'll leave it to him. Maybe he'll talk more about it next week. But I do want to discuss Brandon Staley just being fed up and how the Chargers have really become America's team. Brandon Staley got angry in a post-game press conference after a reporter asked him about essentially, does he still call plays? And he got all upset and whatever. But the big takeaway here is that I think there are more Chargers fans outside of Los Angeles than there are inside because people see Justin Herbert trying and just running into the Chargers curse. And people are tired of it and want Brandon Staley fired. So that's number 2. Testy exchange. All right. We have saved enough time. We have led you on long enough. It is time for the word of the week. John Beanie, hit it.
And now it's time for the Informal Program's Word of the Week.
Oh, yeah.
And now, the word of the week.
We're running out of time. We need to plan better. But the word of the week, we'll get to this in the post show as well, is the word fabricated or made up. Because reporter Carissa Thompson, formerly, now a host on NFL Amazon, but formerly sideline reporter, admitted that she made up her reports sometimes.
What?
Now, in context, it actually makes sense, and I don't think it's that big a deal. Basically, she said if she couldn't get a coach to interview her, she would just make up a report based on what she had seen. That, not the worst sin in the world. Little dishonest, maybe, but still. The problem is discussing it while you're still working in the NFL. This is a story that goes in the memoir once you're retired or the interview once you're retired. This is not something you say while you're still covering games in some capacity. Just my thoughts. That will do it for this week on the show. Today's show has been loosely produced by John Beanie. Loosely produced by Dave Rogers. Audio engineering by John Beanie. Actually, he did both because Dave wasn't great to that. The News Snail is our research department. I am the host. You are the listeners. Thank you so much. We will see you next week for more. Until then, bye.
You thought he was done, did you? This is the Informal Post Show.
All right, for those of you on YouTube, stick around just a moment. Our conversation with Anderson, the Padres fan, coming up in mere moments. You can find that if you're listening on podcast over at the Informal Overflow. But yeah, let's just finish talking about this real quick. Carissa Thompson, don't do this. I saw this. NASCAR drivers have done this where they wreck someone intentionally and then they say, yeah, I wrecked them intentionally. Like, why are people outing themselves like this? It's just so unwise. I don't understand it. Again, not the biggest problem in the world to say, yeah, I had to wing it sometimes. But don't say it now. This would be the equivalent of a radio play-by-play guy saying, you know what, sometimes I was looking at my phone and I just made up the descriptions. Don't say that. Come on.
And now, because 29 minutes wasn't enough, it's time for the informal overflow. It's the same guys just did that other show.
It is the informal overflow. Time for some stories that maybe we didn't have enough time to get to on the show, and they deserve the proper attention. For the first time in a long time, I'm very excited about this, actually. We have a contributor to the informal program. Our contributor on all things San Diego is on the line. What is your name, sir?
My name is Anderson Eric.
Anderson. And what do you do, Anderson?
Well, I have lived in San Diego for most of my life, so
very nice.
The Padres have been about the only team I've been able to root for after the Chargers left.
Yeah, so I want to start there. First of all, as someone from the city in Southern California, a little further up north, apologies for stealing all of your teams, because I feel like that's what we've done a lot of, and I don't feel good about that. We took the Clippers in the 80s, and then we took the Chargers. That was really unnecessary, I feel like. Like, that one really, we don't want them up here necessarily. They're like two types of Charger fans. They're the Charger fans who are just happy that the team is a little closer, and then the people who are like, oh, I guess I'll root for them. But I feel like the Chargers were really like San Diego's team, or one of them. So the Padres are left, and what I wanted to talk to you about, because you are an expert on all things San Diego, last week, the really sad and kind of sudden passing of the owner of the Padres. So from your perspective as a San Diego local, what did Peter Seidler mean to San Diego?
Well, I found out that he bought a share of the company in 2012 and actually fully owned the Padres in about 2020. But because he died at 63 and the Padres were made in about 1969, he could have seen the entire Padres franchise laid out. And it's just really sad to think that they never won a World Series while he was there.
Yeah, and he really wanted it. Do you think that, because he had some health issues, do you think that kind of looking back on the season they just had where there were all these expectations, that might have played into it, like the Padres players knowing how much it meant to him to see their team win and just got overcome by the pressure of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear on paper that the Padres are a good team. I just think that they weren't quite able to execute. They lost about 10 games in extra innings this year. I think they were 1-11 all year in extra innings. If in the scenario where they win all of those, they easily have a good enough record to make the playoffs. And I don't know, they might go on another run.
Yeah, for sure. So as a Padres fan, we'll ask this first. How long have you been a Padres fan?
They've always been my main baseball team since about 2000 and let's give it 2016.
That was that early Manny Machado? Because they kind of made a run where they signed a bunch of free agents, didn't quite work out, and then the kind of 2020, 2021 Padres reloaded. So what did you notice over the last couple years? Because he bought them in 2020. I'd love your thoughts on the jerseys. We can get to that in a minute. But kind of what were some of the things you saw as he officially took over? Because he is, like you said, he owned the team, partially owned the team for a few years, and then he was became the full owner in 2020. And just from where I was, it seemed like some things happened. But what did you see as a fan start to kind of change once he really took over in 2020 and on?
I think that the Padres franchise found out that they got to start putting some things together, because Fernando Tatis was one of the best things that happened to the organization. He was traded for a bag of peanuts when he originally got to the team, and he just performed really well from there. So it was amazing to see him play. And then Manny really started putting the good work in. Jay Cronenworth actually was they're one of their best players at the time, and he's kind of fallen off a bit. But I guess then they had three players I was mainly watching, Jake Cronenworth, Manny Machado, and Fernando Tatis. They were the three guys that kind of knew they had to start winning now.
And then they start spending a lot of money, and Snell came over at some point. So I want to know, I want to know on the kind of more on the off the field side as well, your thoughts on the jerseys. Because that was another big thing I felt like around that time that he took over. They brought back the brown. Were you team brown and gold, or what is your favorite like Padre color?
I personally love the brown and gold. I never really liked the navy and white colors. They just don't really look too fantastic to buy a jersey with.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and it feels like you would probably know as more of an expert. That feels like that's the Padres' identity. Like if you're going to say these are the San Diego Padres, these are our San Diego Padres, the brown kind of feels like this is the community's team. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, it was their original color for the team before they switched to navy for a little bit, but bringing it back was like it was a good refresher. It made the team feel like they had some extra morale.
That's cool. And kind of to wrap things up here, what do you think happens next? Where do you kind of see the franchise heading next? Because this is this is tough. Like he was someone, and for those of you listening who aren't huge San Diego Padres fans, this is a man in Peter Seidler who was a diehard Padres fan, and it seemed like he wanted nothing more than to see them win the World Series, and they got pretty close a couple years ago. So now, maybe from what you've heard or kind of what you think, what's next for the Padres? Because they've lost their leader and really one of the most, I think it's fair to say, one of the most beloved owners across Major League Baseball.
Well, I think first they need to try to get rid of any Blake Snell free agent talks, because he was the man who went really well for the Padres this year. As you know, he won a Cy Young, 7th player all time to win a Cy Young in both the AL and NL. So he is a keeper for the team. Hader, he's kind of a 50-50. He's still a really good player, but I don't fully know if they're going to let him walk or not. But now that Tatis is back and probably will be around as long as the Padres stay healthy, I think they could make the playoffs. I don't think this is their year for a World Series, but I think it's time that they start making divisional or wild card playoffs.
Makes sense. And what about your friend you got from the National, Soto? Is he going to stick around? Because I've heard some rumors.
I think he likes being a San Diego Padre. I think they'll hold on to him, but eventually trade him away around the deadline, because I mean, it just depends how good they are at the time. If they're doing pretty good, like I said, they could make a divisional series, they probably won't let him go. But if they're back to where they were at the trade deadline this year, they probably won't let him go.
No point keeping him around.
Yeah,
makes sense.
He's just gonna get rid of money.
Financially, any concerns financially that now that Seidler's not there anymore? Where's the money coming from? Do we know?
Yeah, I'm really confused on what's happening there, because I remember how he raised the Padres salary cap, and now that he's gone, the new owner, who I've yet to know who it is, will be confused on do I put the salary cap back down? Do I have to let some people go? It's all a mystery for now.
And Bob Melvin has oddly switched divisions and gone up north. That was a little odd.
And that one confused me a little bit, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it was
strange. I just think he didn't want to lose his reputation to be he's making the Padres a bad team or anything.
Yeah, makes sense. All right.
So,
yeah. Very nice. Thank you for your time, Anderson. Real quick question here. I don't know how big a soccer fan you are. San Diego FC, what is the consensus from you've heard around town of the new soccer team y'all are getting down there?
I actually don't know much about the team, but my dad has thought about purchasing tickets for a few games.
Might be fun. Have you seen the logo?
Could be. I have not seen the logo yet.
Well, I'll have to send you, and we can talk about it off air because it's a very, very controversial logo. People are not too happy about it, but it's I would like to know. Maybe you can write in, or we can talk about this later. But does it kind of feel like San Diego? Because I think that's the big concern people have. Is it's very kind of generic EA Sports logo, and it doesn't feel like San Diego. So I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Hey, thank you so much for taking some time here in the Overflow to discuss, and we'll have to have you back for other San Diego related news. That sound good?
All right, that works for me.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye.